Hi, I'm Lola and welcome to this channel. Here we're talking about American English and the intricacies of English learning journey. In this particular video, I wanted to jump into American accent and discuss the ingredients that help us to create this American English sound. I myself came from heavy Russian accent to native-like American English. And of course, I'm not perfect, but I have a lot to share on this topic. So the main goal of this video to help you understand what goes into making an American sound and how you can work on each and every of these blocks, improving step by step your pronunciation. Before we begin, I want to point out that the work on your pronunciation is such a valuable practice. On my English learning journey, that was the pivoting point in my progress. Going from a foreigner to a native-like speaking person. Going from, I think I've reached a plateau to, ooh, I can grow more, I can improve. Because when we're working on our accent, we're doing that not only for the purpose of the beautiful sound, but mainly for the point of comprehension. Because the improvement in our pronunciation improves our listening ability, improves our understanding of the language and our ability to grow. Let's go. A story. When I came to United States with Russian accent and I was trying to speak like a native, I was meeting a lot of people, Russian-speaking people, who were telling me that it's an impossible task that I took on, that it's impossible to get rid of Russian accent because it's so heavy, it's so difficult, whatever the reasons they had. And they had this limiting belief that was stopping them from even trying to take on the steps. But I was lucky. I met a girl who was speaking a perfect American English and who managed to learn how to speak by herself. So I saw the possibility. I saw that it was possible. Now I needed to understand how could I get there? What are the steps? What are the building blocks of American pronunciation? And I think a lot of people, they underestimate the task. They think that you can whether talk with an accent or talk without an accent because you are born in America or UK, whatever type of English you're learning. But it's not true. It's like with sports. I like to think about the Olympic Games. When we think about the sportsman who's training for Olympics, we understand that even though, let's say, he or she competes in running, she would do cardio training, she would do strength training, she would do massages, she would do the right nutrition, she would do all these things that will give her or him that level of performance. He or she should work on these building blocks, and together, in resonance, it will accelerate the performance of that person. Same with American English. So what are the blocks? Number one, of course, sounds. Knowing the correct sounds. Don't get me started with that. A lot of people think that if the letter of American English, let's say A, looks like the letter in my native language, let's say in my Russian, so that means we will pronounce it kind of the same and I don't have to learn the sounds because that's kind of boring and it's la. Wrong. Sounds are building blocks. And when we use the wrong sounds, we get the wrong word and people don't understand us. I love this example because it always works with water and water. If you ask for water, substituting v and w, and then you would substitute a and o, people won't understand you because it's the same if somebody called me Rala instead of Lola. Rala. It sounds Indian. So I want you to listen to this pair of words, and I won't show you them on the screen. First, I just want you to process, and then we'll discuss it.
The beta area is the aware, awake state.
The beta area. Beta. Beta area. The beta. How many of you did understand the word? That was that word. Beta. But if you're anything like me in the beginning of my learning journey, I would read it as beta. Not beta, but beta. Because I would use the sounds of my native language that are connected to the letters I see. And I would associate the letters and the sounds of Russian language with American word. And I would try to pronounce an American word using the Russian sounds. It doesn't happen intentionally. It's just how it happens when you don't know the right sounds. But what if I tell you that this E is read as A and this T is read as fast D, like flap T, beta, beta? Would you understand this word without knowing this information? Would you understand beta in speech, not knowing the sounds behind it? Or will you be expecting beta? Your brain will be expecting to hear a different word because you don't know the correct pronunciation. So that's how it works. That's why a person not knowing the correct pronunciation can freak out listening to the native speaker because it sounds like a completely different language. That's why it's so essential to learn the sounds. Good news, there are not that many sounds to learn. You've learned the alphabet, you know it. Same here, the alphabet of sounds, International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA. I keep referring to it, but I want you to understand it, to learn to use it, and then you will be progressing. In this particular video, I won't go deep into IPA, but I really encourage you to dig deeper and get to know it. And in the end of this video, I will tell you how you can do it. Let's jump into the second building block, intonation. Oh my God. Before coming to United States, I didn't even know that there are, I kind of realized that by watching videos, but I didn't know that it's something that you can learn. And let me give you an example of monotone speech like, hi, I'm Lola. Or let me say like, hi, I'm Lola. Which one sounds more natural and more American? Of course, the one with the intonation. Now think about the whole spoken English. It's almost like a flow of words. And intonation is like waves. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. And same way as your brain expecting the correct sounds, your brain will expect the right intonation patterns. Because it makes it easier to understand the information. Funny enough, when many years ago I was considering learning Chinese language, I had an exam, and during this exam, all they were testing your ability to pronounce the same word with different intonation, because in Chinese, the same word can have 4 different intonations and it will have different meaning. Same in English. Sometimes intonation changes the vibe. It changes the whole idea and emotion that you put into your sentence. It changes the whole purpose of your sentence. So it's very important to understand the patterns. And when you master the intonation, not only your English speech, your native language speech becomes more expressive and you become a better speaker. So take a look into the intonation. Block number 3, the sound placement. If speaking and American accent, in my opinion, is one of the most underlooked topics in English learning process, the sound placement is one of the most underlooked topics inside of the accent training. Not a lot of people talk about that, and not a lot of teachers teach that. Not a lot of people even think it exists. And oh my God, I think it's so valuable. I'll explain you what it is. Practically, I don't know how it happened in life, but I think it has to do with geography. Different nations use different parts of your articulatory organs to produce sounds. You've noticed that some people, they speak using their lips, others use their throat. I know that there is even an African tribe who speaks like almost like with the clicks in their throat. All that goes into the sound placement. So understanding the correct sound placement for American English is essential for your accent training because it will give this true color. I don't even know how to describe it differently. Like, it's a true color. I'll try to show you. Like right now, I think I shifted my sound placement, but I'll try to pronounce something with American accent, but with the wrong sound placement. Let me say something like with Russian one. What time it is? With American, what time it is? Did you hear the difference? I know I exaggerated it on purpose, but I wanted you to understand. So working out your sound placement will help you to shift the origin of your sound, and actually it will help you to shape the vowel sounds a lot. So it will help you with the sounds of English, and we've figured out how important the sounds are. So look into the sound placement and master it. Block number 4, the contractions. It's not new, you know that. But for some reason, English speakers, not all of them, maybe that's not about you, but maybe it's about you. Some speakers are afraid of using the contractions because they're afraid of mumbling the words and they're trying their best pronouncing the full form, like I will call you, now we will talk, or I have done it. Native speakers don't use full forms that much. Most of the times they use contractions. I've done it. I'll see it. We've been there. Because it's easier. We simplify things. We shorten things. We don't want to spend a lot of time pronouncing things. So it shrinks naturally. And funny enough that some contractions, they just became a part of language, like coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? We don't say could have, would have, should have. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's almost like a known saying. So learning about the contractions and understanding contractions is important, and I really recommend you looking into that topic and applying it into your English speech. The 5th block that I decided to point out is a stress. And I'm talking about the stress inside of the word. We also have stress in the sentence. It kind of comes to the intonation discussion, but the stress inside of the word is very important because the same way as our brain detects the correct sounds, our brain detects the correct stress. For example, what if I will be talking pronunciation? I even can't do that. I can't do it. I'm trying to give you an example. Usually when I explain stress, I give an example with the wrong stress. I can't do it for some reason today. I'm sorry. Just trust my word is important. Our brain is wired to recognize the pattern in the word. It is wired to recognize the right stress. And in different languages, similar words would have different stress. Like, for example, repetition in English. And in French is like répétition. Like, I think in French, there are a lot of words that have the stress in the end of the word and the end of the, like, tu dis toi, tu dis bebe, le bzzz. It gives it this French sound. And in English, I would be stressing the very first part of some words, and some words I'll be stressing the end. Good news that you can learn these patterns. When you'll be stressing this first part of the word, when you'll be stressing the second part of the word, and sometimes you have a similar word like make up and to make up, and depending on what kind of word it is, a noun or a verb, the stress will go to the different part of the word. And all of these things, they create the correct sound of the language itself. And the biggest advice I can give you, if you ever have a doubt, check in with a dictionary. Where is the stress? Where is the stress in the word? And it's okay to make mistakes. We've talked about that a lot. For example, the word consequences. Oh my God, I think I'm still struggling pronouncing. I've learned the incorrect way, and I always wanted to stress like sequence. So I would say consequences, but the proper way to say is consequence. So the person not hearing the correct version could be confused because the person would not understand you. Like, what is she trying to say? What is consequence? What kind of sequence is she talking about? Oh my God. So if you have a doubt, check, and learn the patterns. Then you will feel confident. Let's refresh all the 5 blocks that we've been talking about today. Number 1, learn proper sounds. Number 2, learn proper intonation. Number 3, learn the sound placement of English. Number 4, contractions. Contract. Number 5, the stress. Without the stress. And I love all of these topics because I know how important they are. I know how much they could improve your English, how much they can help you. That's why we've created a whole challenge inside of our app, Lola Speak app, where in 30 days, or maybe 10 days, maybe we will do the shorter one. We'll see. The links will be below. You will learn all of these points in short lessons, and you will practice pronouncing the correct forms. You'll be practicing every day. The main idea of our app is practice. Practice, because if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So you'll be learning bit by bit about American English, and you will practice, trying, applying right away. And if the app is not your thing, that's all right. Now you know the building blocks, so you can do your work. And if you choose us, I'm super happy, and I'll see you in Lola Speak app. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, comment, suggest topics, share some insights, laugh at my mistakes with me. Have a shot every time I make a mistake. God. Okay, and remember, learning should be fun. My name is Lola, and I'll see you next week.